Hey everyone, it's Desiree, and I am here with that third video that I was talking about. So you saw my other two where I showed, again, these are alternative ways that make it, I don't want to say simplified, but can help you if you want to get into making your own junk journal, steps that you, or I should say alternatives that you have that are available to create them. If you don't, so you don't have to go out and buy all of, stamps and stuff like that. So they take care of creating those pages and everything else. So the only thing that you would really need are scissors. Of course, our vintage photo definitely would have that, and any types of glue, whether it's a glue stick or whether it's the art glitter glue or whether it's the Fabri-Tac that's used by most. So the last video that I want to talk about is going to focus specifically on T cards. So now, I don't know too much about these, but T cards were something that were collected in like cigarette packs. You had these little cards, and I've been watching videos on them, and my dad, years ago, and it's funny, I sit there going, when it comes to those, the cigarettes that he smoked had those little tiny coupons, and if you gathered them up, you could get, other items, if you had so many, and fill up your book that you could turn them in for items. And of course, I don't have any of those. So again, this concept of T cards, we can make them, and that's something that I look forward to do. So these are just some creators of digital downloads that I found. that had those designs. So let me go through the designs that I found, and again, they will be linked down below so that you can check out their shop. These aren't the only things that they have, but these were the ones that caught my eye. Now, sometimes with you'll see that some of these are just one-sided, some of these are actually two-sided, where there's the photo and then the statement of what it is, or the advertisement, whatever it would look like. And then we'll make a few to show you what you could make them look like and how you can use them. Now, by all means, you can use these to collage with. I love to collage. Or you can make your own T cards. So I'll actually be showing some of those. You won't have to wait for that project video like you are in the other two for the full journal kits, or the second video where I showed the fussy cuts to make fussy cutting easier. So first up is TD, the book binder. That is the name of the shop, and these are butterflies. So let me turn these. And these are just beautiful. If you guys have seen my previous, I am a butterfly person. Feathers and stuff like that. So you can see I've cut some of them out. So these are just beautiful images that she's made available for us when it comes to T cards. And again, it's just the size of a T card. They're small. They're not large, but they can be any size that you want to make them. So keep that in mind, and you'll see that with the next up, Caroline's Craft Tray. These are agricultural T cards, and you can see that these are, what I'll refer to as the normal size. But then you also have, some different sizes. So these are just a little bit larger, and what I thought was interesting in her layouts, where you have the, again, referring to a normal size of a T card, because they're usually small. They're not anything large like a journal card. She does have the different sizes, like these are a little larger. This one's a little larger here. But then these same images that you're seeing go into a larger size. So you can make these either a journal card or a tag, however you would see fit within your creation that you are making. So you can see these are getting larger as I'm paging through, and of course having difficulty paging through. So again, you can see the larger size. We're getting into different sizes. So you can see here, this is one of the ones that we'll make, and these are one of the ones that I cut out. So again, you have different sizes that come into play. And these are great fillers. And again, just paging through. These are just some beautiful, beautiful images. And I love the fact that there's like an advertisement that goes with them. Beautiful horse images and so forth. So lots of choices to fill in your images, or you could have a plain coffee stained background so that you can turn it into a journal card. And look, I mean, these are absolutely gorgeous as well. And then here's the advertisements, or the descriptions, what it is, and it tells you about it along with that image. So lots of choices in that bundle. And again, everything will be linked down below. Next up is Kelly's Crafts. And again, these are florals. Now, these are one-sided. So beautiful images here. And you can see I've cut one out. Very soft. They have a pink tone to them. So if you're looking to create your journal with a certain color theme, not so much the images or the style, but based on a color, you know, these would be great into either a floral style or a pink color choice. Next up is Tracy and the Love Junk Journals. Now, these are the English Garden Flower tea cards or cigarette cards. And again, I'll try to link to her video where she explains what the tea cards are, and she goes into some great details. So here, these are actually from cigarettes, and then there was a book that you could fill these in as well. So here's your image, and then here's the background, and then you can see I've cut into those as well. Beautiful floral images, and then it tells you what that flower is. So here's the description of the hollyhock, and then there's your image that goes with that. And there's all beautiful images that go with that. So, and then these are just a repeat because for some reason I got carried away when I printed. Now, the beauty of a digital download as well is you can resize them. You know, you can make them smaller. So if you're making something tiny. And then the last one up is Tailor-Made Journals. Now, she has these beautiful, and this is the way that they're set up. Now, these are more animals. They are called Vintage Birds and Animals tea cards. So beautiful images. Here's the barn owl, and then here's description. And I'll show you how I put those together to make a tea card as well. Just some beautiful images. I mean, look at that eagle. Gorgeous. Even the buzzard is pretty. Yes. Who knew, right? Who knew? So again, just beautiful images that you can create, again, depending upon whether you're using a color for your theme or whether you're using, you know, a concept. If it's a bird or a botanical. Here's an awesome blank page. All right. Just to create all of those. This would be awesome just to create a really cool journal card. And again, remember, you can resize them. And then we have some other images here that can also be used when it comes to your journal. I mean, this is absolutely gorgeous as well. you know, even if you resize that to make a journal card. So let's create in this video here. So these are just some ones that I made for right now. So this is from Tailor Made Journal. So here's the image. I cropped it, and then I just got some ivory cardstock. I put it down. But then when you flip it over, you have the description of what that bird is, and then there's a spot to journal up here. I know it's small, but it's still a spot to journal. Now, sometimes, you know, you've got this white, because again, whenever I print out my images, when I download, I just print them out on copier paper, just plain, like this, plain copy paper, because, and I have an inkjet printer, and if I want to coffee dye these pages, I can. They don't bleed. But let's say you just, you know, you don't have to coffee dye, and I did not coffee dye any of these, but that looks really white. So how would I calm that down? So let me real quick grab something. Let's see. You know, there's always something that I forget. So this is just an extra makeup brush that I have. And what I can do is, if I go into this, and then I just swoosh, yes, that's a technical term, back and forth, I've now dulled that white and made it just a little bit vintage. It was just a little bit of color. I think it was Tracy Fox that showed that technique, just to calm that down. And again, I just have a large border here, so I changed the size of that. And then the other ones where there's just one side, I have that here again on ivory cardstock. I inked around the edges, and then you can see I have this torn edge here because I covered the back of the cardstock with some coffee dyed paper. That's a scrap because I saved them all, and then I just let that torn edge come off the bottom of it. And then this side is another side that they can journal on. And then this one here is from Tracy Fox. I'm sorry, this one here is, excuse me, is from, and I'm trying to find that. Where did it go? Oh my goodness. This one is the Kelly Crafts by Kelly, that image. And then this one here is by Tracy. So this, I just have it really close to the image, and then when you flip it over, here's the other side. And again, I can do that again, just picking up some of that ink and then going over it with my brush just to tone that down. So again, just little tiny pieces that can add some interest to your journal. So let's get making some of these. Again, we love our ephemera. This is what they look like when I start cutting. Here's a couple of those beautiful butterflies. And then here are those others that are all different sizes from the Caroline's Craft Tree. And what's great is when you print those out, they're kind of already vintage looking because of the color. You can see how white these are, and then you can see these. Now, there was another video. Yeah, I watch a lot of videos. Wendy's Junk Journal Adventures. So she has pulled in on some great items using coin holders. And, you know, when I was watching that video, I was smiling. Because me and my dad used to run a coin and stamp store many years ago. My dad has since passed, but she made me smile because it brought back so many memories when we were doing that. And, you know, we have tons of those coin holders that she's using. So she gave some great ideas. So I'm looking forward just to try some of her ideas, come up with some different things to do with that. But one of the things with all of the supplies that we had on the stamp end were these other stamp cards, because again, we had the shop and we used to have stamps that we sold as well. So I found these, and what these are, again, these were the, you would take they have a window in the front, and then you'd be able to put the price and what the catalog value is based off of your Scott's catalog. But I was looking at these to say, wouldn't that be cool to take these, and then you can just have these sitting here, and then these would be able to create a pocket. Now again, you would have this white that's going on, which is fine, but we can add some papers to these, or create an outside line of paper. So I'm going to create one of these pockets as well. So we're going to have all kinds of different things going on here. So, okay, let's get some of these things out of the way, and let's create some fun. How about it? So I'm going to grab my scissors, and I'm going to cut right along this edge. I'm going to bring it right down to the image. And then this is already trimmed. And then the same thing with these. I'm going to trim these right down to that black border, because whatever, in this case ivory, because of the way they trimmed, came out, that will be covered up when we hit it with our ink. And again, I don't want you to think that you are limited to the vintage photo. I am a huge fan of vintage photo. I absolutely love it. Now this one here, you can see how this has this decorative edge. I'm actually going to keep that on there, and then this one's pretty much trimmed down as well. So I'm not going to trim those anymore. Let me get those out of my way. I'm going to grab, this is just a simple piece of ivory cardstock. You can use whatever color you would want. And I have my book here. And what I'm going to do is I want to use a straight edge. Yeah, can you tell I'm trying to get myself organized here? I'm just saying. Okay. Alright. So I'm just going to cut a strip up. I am one. Now I'm going to take this. Now what I want to do is I want to look at this and put this down first, because this is wider than that image. And again, these are from the tailor-made journals. And I'm just going to ink around that. And then I'm going to ink around this. I'm going to use my glue stick for this. And already I have glue all over my hands. I'm just going to put that down there. Now I just used my eyes. And then I'm going to bring my scissors straight up and just give it the same border. And I'm going to come up. I'm going to cut. All right, now I'm going to flip this around, and I'm going to glue this one down as well. And now I've just glued it to my page. Oh, there we go. Okay, and there it goes. And now I'm going to put this, I'm going to center that, but giving it the same border look to it. And then I'll come up with my scissors and just cut straight along that. I'll come in with my ink. I love to have my ink, and I will do the other side as well. And then for this one, I will come in going across that white just to tone her down. And then I will over the image as well. And you can see that's the first one. Very simple. And we'll come across that top too just to even that out. And that's our first one. I think they are really, really cute. Okay, so now for this one, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go around the edge. I'm going to use my glue stick. The same thing. I'm just going to create a border. Just going to use my eyes. Since I know these are pretty much the same size, and I'm going to come up with my scissors. I do like to have long blade scissors. I find it does make it easy. And then I'm just going to cut right across that. And then I'll flip her over, and then I'll make sure that I flip it the right way. Yeah, you all know that I have done that the opposite way before. Yeah. And then I'm just going to center this right in here. Now it's great that I use the glue stick or a wet glue so I have time to move it if I don't think it looks too centered. And then I'm going to come in. And then of course I forgot to go around those edges, but that's okay because since it's so close to the edge of the cardstock, I'll be able to pick that up. And then again, that's how simple that could be. So for these, we'll do the same thing. I'm just going to cut up over the edge. I'm going to come in with my glue stick. I'm just going to find that straight edge, make it look somewhat straight. Again, these are junk journals. These are your creations. It's no different than if you've seen my other videos for card making. This is art that we are creating. It does not have to be perfect. That's the beauty of handmade. And then I'm just going to come in with my scissors. And then I'll just make it somewhat straight using my scissors. And then I'll do the same thing for this one. Alright, now we have those. Push that off to the side. Yep, that just all went down onto the floor. And now I'm just going to get some coffee stained papers. See if I have any here. Of course I do. Yeah. Oh well. Let's see if this is wide enough. Oh, yay. It's wide enough. So now I'm just going to take my piece and add my glue stick to it. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to take that right up to the edge. And I'm going to cut along the card on two of the sizes, or sides. And then I'm just going to tear along this one edge. And now we ink. And we'll do the other side. And we'll do the same thing on this one. Let me flip this book around. And yay! And I'm just going to use that torn edge right there. Take that right up to the edge. Cut along the cardstock. And yes, I saved that. Absolutely. Again, I love the collage, and those small pieces, they just fill in where they need to. And we're going to come in and we're going to ink up again. So at least these do have an edge that people can collage against. Come across, just tone that color down just a little bit, but not much. So here are our cards that we made. You can see how fast they can go. You can get a lot of ephemera, and again, it's because of the ease of the beautiful creations that others can have available for us. So again, that was the reason for the 3 different videos. So now, looking at these, so we've got a lot of white going on here. What can we do with this? Well, this can be a great base and create a great pocket for a page. So, what I want to do with this, actually, I'm thinking, scary, right? So, let me grab a scrap piece of paper. You can see I'm just working on the fly. All right. So I'm going to come in, and I just want to hit the top. And I'm going to come in with a lot of vintage photo just to kill down, but I do like to see that writing. Now, we can't do that on the sides because this film that's here actually goes from side to side. Now, what I can say is that this section in here measures about 3 5/8, and we'll go, so 3 5/8 by 2 and 3/8, but a scant 3 3/8. Okay, so let's find something that would work in there. And I think what would actually work in there would be a scrap piece. So, yes. Okay. We have and let's see if I measure this real quick. Gonna come in right there. Again, not looking for it to be perfect. Nothing needs to be perfect. And then if I measure this, I'm going to take that right there. Oh, almost. And then we'll just do this. All right, so if I take this, they should fit a little bit more. And we'll put that right in there. And we're just going to pull off a little bit more off the top. So you can see all the fun we can have with tearing. So I can still see that up there. And what I'm going to do, I am going to use my art glitter glue on this one because it's truly a liquid adhesive, and I'm hoping that I will be able to move it, because what I need to do is lift this up and push her down. Yep. And that's if you want to, I like to keep that plastic on top. Now you can probably, if I take one of these, let's see something here. Well, now that would have made my life easier now, wouldn't it? Okay. So, learn. You can pull off the side and then do that and then place your paper inside. Just saying. Now, you are still going to have this whiteness going on here and along the bottom, which, not a problem, because what we can do, or what I'm going to do, is take this, and again, I'm going to use my art glitter glue. And I do want to just put a little bit of glue on that. Glue that there. And the same thing. So again, your scraps can really be used on this. And I'm going to do the same thing on that one. So it's kind of like you're creating a frame, but that frame is going to stay. Do that, and then I'm going to do, I want to lift that up because I want to fill in this side first. I'm going to tear that and ink up that. But I did enjoy watching her video. It brought so many memories when we did this. And now I'll come across with some more glue here. And then what I can do is I'll flip this over and we'll trim. So I'm going to cut that off. Now remember, this is going to be a pocket, so I'm not worried about all of this whiteness that you're seeing on this side here. And I'm just using the edge of the card just to trim all of that away. So now you've got that cool pocket going on there. And I'm just going to come in on that top, get that edge, because of course I forgot that, but that's okay. And then the cool thing, so this is great on its own. Now again, you know, you can put that in a, you know, a journal or a pocket. Let me grab mine. If I just look at a page, we can just use this one for right now. You can see it is a perfect size that will sit in your journals. You can also make it a side one if you wanted to, depending upon your image. But I think it would look great like that. Oh, was I down too far? Okay, there we go. Let's try that again. See, look, you can see. Great page. So I don't care, or I don't mind, I should say, with the white on the back. I'm going to ink around the edge. And then what's great is we can take our cards and then just put a few inside here. So now we've made a little tiny pocket for our tea cards. And then what's great, you know, if you just put glue here, here, and here, you can now have that back pocket as well. So that as these come out, you know, you'll see that. Now you don't have to even keep that there. You could have your cardstock coming off the back of that as well. So again, just some few ideas. Again, I will show some projects with from the other two videos that I showed you the digital downloads that are available. Again, it's an alternative to be able to create a journal without having to buy all the stuff. Okay? So again, just something really simple, but yes, I was able to find these. I just got to find all those coin things that we have. I still have all of that stuff boxed up from when we did this. So it'll be fun to give a try on those really cool projects that Wendy came up with. So I do hope that you enjoyed this. I hope you'll give this a try. Again, all of those beautiful designs from the designers that I just showed you will be, of course, be linked down below. Again, you do not need this card here. You can simply use a piece of cardstock with a piece of clear acetate or clear packaging to go across to create your see-through window. Use what you have, okay? You don't need to go buy these by any means. Again, everything that I used here will be linked down below, especially to the designers. If you have any questions or comments, please leave those down below as well. If you haven't already, I'd love for you to subscribe so that you can see more designs, more creations. Hopefully I'm giving you some ideas, and plus I'd love to have you as part of my group here when it comes to the paper crafting world. Make sure you ring the bell and make sure you hit that thumbs up. I do hope everyone is enjoying their day, enjoying the times that we have to be in our crafty space, no matter if that's a spot on your couch or in a room. Just make sure that we enjoy it. Please make sure you continue to stay safe and healthy through our challenging experience right now. Again, enjoy, but always remember, for me, what's most important and what helps me through this time. Always be creative. Till next time.